You come to La Mesa, ditch downtown La Mesa, go straight to the hills. If you know me, hit me up. We'll all be here. What up? What's the question? 21st birthday. Yeah, we're filming for Market Zero, and all day we were stacking all around San Diego, and then we were gonna go out so I could finally not use my fake ID anymore. We're filming at night. They were gonna turn the lights off at like 9 o'clock, and I wanted to get one more trick and snap my femur, not my finger. I snapped my femur trying a trick on this bouldable gap and just slammed. So I spent my 21st birthday in the hospital with a snapped femur. Don't rush yourself on tricks, because I was not ready to do this trick and I just broke my femur because of it. 21st birthday never really happened. A park bike, a street bike, an e-bike for myself, an e-bike for my girl, a sick mountain bike, a trail bike, like full suspension trail bike, and then a trail bike now that is basically for like Chad and Blake and Michael, like anyone that wants to use it. So like a homie trail bike, an e-mountain bike, thing is amazing. And then my clunker, and then Ace's Strider. Am I missing any? 10 bikes and a scooter. Zik is an alter ego that Jason Watts made up for me when I drink a little too much. Zik, I really try and keep him out of the world. Kind of a younger thing. Zik's when I let loose. Everyone likes Zik, but I don't like Zik. Zik makes me feel like shit in the mornings. Can I have your beer too? Can't do them. 720s, I can do them all day fly out. They come and go like over the Resi whenever I go to Woodward West. But it's just been this arch nemesis of mine. I can only land them sometimes, and most of the time I fall. So 720s, dream trick. I'm gonna get, oh, and downside double pegs. I can do downside double pegs, stalls, but who's so downside double pegs and 720s. I'm not gonna leave BMX without knowing how to do those tricks, so I'll probably ride forever because I'm never gonna learn them. The do tours were always crazy because me and Garrett would always share a room. All we wanted to do was ride the courses, and the after parties were always free drinks for us because Dew Tour was insane. They were so nice to us, and we were just happy to make finals. Me and him both started doing good, so we kind of like started to try and not be as hungover. But there was one point where I was still a little bit tipsy the day of finals, and I flip whipped the spine because I was just so out of it and completely sprocket cased. I never can find the footage, but flip whipped a sprocket case of spine and then popped in. Best trick ever in a Dew Tour. My first car, shout out to Dave White. My parents actually got it for me when I was like 15 and a half. They were so cool. They bought it for 5,000 bucks. Coolest Christmas gift I could have ever got in my life. And yeah, I had my own car, and I ripped that thing to the ground, literally, where it was like undrivable. I always said when it was done, I was gonna blow it up. So for Market Zero, we went out to the middle of the desert. Rob Wise got us a bunch of explosives and a big old gun, and we literally blew my 4Runner up. We had a trailer to put it on. Instead of blowing it into a million pieces, it basically just blew a hole through the middle and everything flew up like hundreds of feet, but there was still a giant car and we could not get it on the trailer. It just happened to be like a sign when we were going out there saying like $100,000 fines for dumping or like explosives, the two things we were doing, 7 years in jail or some crazy sign. We were like, we'll be fine, we're out in the middle of nowhere. We hadn't seen anybody in 24 hours besides one car going through with their dirt bikes. And then after we blow the car up, we're looking at it, trying to figure out how to get this thing on the trailer. We could not do it. And then like 4 blacked out SUVs started coming, some sort of like government thing where they like, who knows? We didn't even know, but they came out of nowhere. And I pretty much shit my pants, like I'm going to jail. Everyone felt so bad for me because they knew I was gonna have to take the blame for this. SUVs just stopped and just like sat there for a second and then just turned around and went back. Gave them the GPS coordinates for it way in the middle of the salt flats in Idaho and told them that I got in a crazy accident, we're lucky to be alive. And they told me they went and picked it up. So like, we got it all taken care of. No dumping, nothing. I think it's Haro by about a year or two. Haro bikes, San Diego company. It just fit. I was riding for volume at the time. Haro hit me up to ride for him when I was like, I think like 16 or 17. Colin McKay came up to me. He was like the team manager at the time and asked if I wanted to ride for him, and boom, here we are, way down the years. I mean, mountain bikes, all these other bikes. My BMX frame is unreal, my forks. So just shout out to Haro bikes. They rule. SD, the only bike company in San Diego. I was sponsored by a beef jerky company through Dew Tour, my agent and all this stuff. I basically had to run a sticker on my helmet and it was good money. So I was like, hell yeah, no one even knows what this is. But they would send like a garage full of dead cow and we had like sticks. There was like powdered jerky. It was like a cow and they threw it through like a wood grinder. And then they made like powdered jerky. Dude, at one point, like people in my house were making quesadillas out of the damn packets of like old dead cow It was disgusting. My garage was full of beef jerky. We would have meat stick wars, and then we would just set all these sticks of beef jerky out, and everyone would just go crazy. And it was stupid. Really, really stupid. Kind of embarrassing. Inspiration for my YouTube channel was my buddy Colby Raha, hanging out like once a week, and every time he came down, he was filming his YouTube thing, but like we were just hanging out as friends, but he was also like putting out this cool stuff every week, and I was like, whoa, that's how you do a YouTube channel? I always thought YouTube was like the old school way, where it's just like, hey, I'm going to get coffee, you know? Colby showed that it was like, oh, that actually kind of fits my style, because in between team trips and video parts, I'm always like down to send it and do stuff, but sometimes I feel like there's no one to film me and do my things. An outlet in between the team trips and the video parts and the contests and stuff. Colby Raha, he was my influence for starting a YouTube channel for sure. Yo, I was gonna be in the Olympics like 4 times at this point. And that was one of the first times I was starting to go to those feast contests. I liked them a lot, it was cool. And I got put on the American team or whatever. And then I was at this contest in China, and me and Rob Darden were just riding the course. The feast dudes are so cool who build those courses, and they just finished painting. They're like, oh, you can go ahead and ride it. I had like no helmet on, and me and Darden were just playing like a game of bike, I think, or like add a trick or something fun, just because we had like 3 days in between the contests. Apparently someone was like snitched on me because you're not allowed to ride the contest early. They took away my practice and all this stuff, and yeah, I flew home. It's like, this is whack, too many rules, can't ride my bike, like, I'm going home. Like, you know what, the universe does not want me riding the Olympics, and I'm very glad, because there's a lot more cool things going on for myself than following that whole Olympic thing. Markit Compound, Henderson House, Henderson Hotel, Christian's house for a long time. My house I bought when I was 17, my senior year of high school. We all moved in, me and a bunch of my best friends, and it was a time. I lived there from 17 to 23, and it's still there, and a bunch of my friends still live in it, and it's right down the street from me. It's the Markit Compound. You got to see it to believe it. A bunch of dumb kids living in the house by themselves. Josh Harrington, Mike Hucker-Clark, dude, everyone. Rob Wise, Tate Roskelley, Biz, Chris Doyle, I'm pretty sure stayed there. Jeff Slaughterly, everyone stayed there. I can't even, everyone stayed at that house. It's insane. There was always like one trip there. I would come home from a trip, and there'd be a trip at my house, and I would go on another trip, and then a different trip would be at my house. Connor, myself, and Christian all lived there together, and they were like full-on BMX pros with their own sponsors. It was hectic. It was always a team trip rolling through our house, or some friends from NorCal, or just like, it was just a place everyone stayed at. La Mesa, Henderson House, Market House. 2 people got carted out on a stretcher from that house. That's crazy. Markit was just me and my friends making a DVD, and then we tried to come up with something that everyone could like be sponsored by, that we could sell to support the stuff we were doing. So we're like, oh, no one has a jean sponsor, like that doesn't conflict with anything. So started making jeans, started doing all this stuff, and it turned into a business that was too crazy, and I kind of just pulled the plug. Realistically, it was like, I don't want to do all this stuff. Really just a crew and people and what we did, the whole making denim thing is just not for me. I'm not a businessman in that sense, I don't like that. Started with a little racetrack. Shout out to my mom and dad and this dude Kenny Finch, because when I was racing, the dude wanted the place to train. So my parents bought the dirt because they knew me and my brother liked racing a lot. So we had a little mini racetrack in our backyard, and then we turned that into dirt jumps. That's how we got into dirt jumping. And then built a little curved wall kind of setup thing. It was pretty cool. Nike was doing a video premiere, and they asked if we could build a ramp in my backyard for a party before the party. So yeah. Then I just kept adding onto that ramp, and then we tore down that ramp, and now we have the sickest ramp ever. It's skate light, just so dope. So been more than lucky, and I'm so grateful. Ramps in my backyard for people just wanting to throw a party. Now they're still in my parents' backyard, my parents love it. My favorite amateur rider is Bipolar Noah. Noah Mirandez from Tucson, Arizona. Bipolar Noah on Instagram, that's how people know him. I love Noah. He's just cool, he's real, he's talented, he's fun to be around, he's just positive, and just one of those people you just want to hit up every day to go ride with. Cheers, this is cool. Have a drink, have some food, answer some questions. Haro bikes, you rule. Mountain bike, BMX, e-bikes, road bikes. Haro makes everything, and they're from the city I'm from. Haro bikes.